If you listen to the audio version, just a heads up, the microphones did not record the audio, so we're using the camera audio for this episode. It's a little echoey. I'm aware it was an accident. We'll be back normal next week, just an FYI.
Hi guys, welcome back to Delusional Diaries podcast. I'm Hallie.
And I'm Jazz.
And I literally woke up at 7 a.m. to go to Pilates because I have like not a busy day, but like just shit all day, and I don't know. I'm not excited for it, but it's fine.
Well, I woke up at like 8:30. I was looking at flights this morning because I'm going on another Virgin Voyage cruise, which I'm very excited about. So going to that in looking like a month.
Okay, fun. Where is it?
It's in Croatia. Starts in Greece and it goes through Croatia. So very exciting. A little bit similar to last year, but a little bit different. So you guys know I love being a sailor or cruiser, so I'm very excited to be back on that grind.
Yeah. I am going to Tampa this weekend. I was supposed to go to Stagecoach. That fell through, is not happening. Whatever. And so then I was like, okay, like it's fine. I really don't like flying, like I said, but then another work opportunity came up to go to Tampa, and I was like, all right, that's a lot shorter of a flight. It's only like 2 hours and 45 minutes, so I can do that a lot more. That doesn't feel as real to me as like flying all the way across the country. And like I like St. Pete. We were supposed to move there. I was laughing my ass off last night. I was watching the videos of us. We're moving to Florida, and I was like, I can't believe we really said that, and we're with our chest going to do that.
Yeah, people think that we were like faking that, but that was like fully an intended plan. Like we signed it at least. We were like working on like literally doing it. But then like one trip came and another work trip came, and there was like 4 work trips. Like we're not going to be in New York, let alone Florida. So
we just randomly, like we had never been invited on a grand trip before, and then in the span of a month, we got invited on like 6, and we were like, oh.
Yeah, so like prior to like, I guess our state now, like getting invited to things, you didn't really used to get invited to stuff, so like it was very easy to plan things. Now it's a little bit more difficult to plan stuff because things come up very last minute, and you just like don't know, and you don't want to like have plans set in place and have to like, it's complicated basically.
No, it's like, it's not, I'm not complaining about being an influencer, but it's you can't really like plan shit out. Like my mom's always like, oh, okay, let's do this, and I'm like, I literally don't know if something's gonna, like my mom will want me to come visit or something and set like a date in place, but I'm like, literally shit pops up like 2 seconds before, and it's like, okay, you have to be here this weekend, you know, like I literally got invited to this thing that I have to go do like yesterday, and I'm leaving tomorrow, you know?
Yeah.
It's very quick.
There's been many times where I've been like home visiting my family in Arizona, and I'll get like a message from my manager like, hey, like you got invited to this event, or like you got invited to like this thing and it's paid, like you need to be back in New York. And like I just got here yesterday and I had to switch my flights so many times. My family's always like, what are you doing?
No, it's
like, it's so great you don't get it, but you just can't control everything. I feel like most things in like workspaces, like corporate wise at least, like it's a very big planning that goes into it, and if you have like good notice, there's no notice with like being an influencer.
Oh no,
like so you just like I'm like even nervous about like planning this cruise that I'm going on like a month from now, because like there is things I'm going to miss out on because I won't know until last minute, and I'm not going to cancel a cruise or something like that.
No, for sure,
which is how it is. But I'm like trying to like not explain like give a disclaimer, like I'm so appreciative because people commented last week, like, guys, we know you are, like there's certain people that actually like us that like don't need the explanation. I think it's hard for us though, like we get like so much shit like not give the disclaimer when I think if you know us and you've been following us long enough, it's kind of a given. Yeah. But finding that balance, I think, is a little bit tough.
No, yeah, because it's annoying because the second you just try to speak about whatever and you don't give 15 disclaimers, then it's like, oh, you're not grateful, and so it's like, but you don't want to sit there and repeat yourself 24/7 because nobody wants to fucking hear that. Yeah. It's giving like you never watch YouTube, but all of the girls that would do their Christmas hauls and they came from like
families, I've seen these they'd be like clips of it.
Just want to give a quick disclaimer before I start this video. I am in no way trying to brag. I am so grateful for everything I got. Like, I'm so fortunate. And then they'd show like Gucci bags and shit, and you're like,
yeah. I just feel like, I don't know. I feel like, you know, people like, if you watch someone's other stuff, you can really tell what kind of person they are. Yeah. So it's like, you should be able to like, just like, be like, oh, what a fun video, and not have to like dissect it.
Yeah, for sure.
But it is what it is.
Yeah.
This weekend I'm going to New Jersey. staying literally just at Kevin's parents this weekend. We're going golfing with his parents on Saturday, and then going to dinner with them, and then Sunday we're looking at wedding venues.
Love that.
I know I mentioned last week I was very much in like my forest. I think I might have mentioned Catskills on the podcast. I'm not positive. Like that's
I definitely think you did.
a vibe I'm considering, and I still am looking at those venues with Kevin in like May. But we're also looking at venues in New Jersey.
Okay. Like specific vibes or just anywhere?
The ones that we're looking at, like they have an area where I could still have my Twilight-esque ceremony, but there's like more like classy, like ballroom type vibe for like the reception.
Yeah.
So I
Gotcha.
don't know, but I'm getting more and more stuff figured out every single day, which is good. Holy fuck, weddings are expensive, and I know they're expensive. Like, don't get me wrong, I wasn't like going into this blind where I thought it was like cheap by any means, but like when you see the numbers add up, like I'm getting all these like quotes and like pamphlets and like their packages. I'm like, what the fuck?
Can you just? I genuinely have no idea like how much is a venue.
Okay, well, another disclaimer because
You're gonna have a lot of people, so you need.
I am. So me and Kevin, first of all, I had never really considered like, again, long-time listeners, you know that I'd never really wanted a wedding. It was never my truth. And then like I changed and now it's becoming my truth. So I never had like a list or like a thought process or anything. Last 2 nights ago, me and Kevin both made lists of like our people. And my family is like 10 members that would be invited. His family that's invited is like 50 members.
Just family.
Just family.
Yeah.
He has a very large family. Like his like dad and mom both have like upwards of 5 siblings each.
Mm-hmm.
So like just like large. And then like his friends on top of it. Plus like my friend list is 40.
Okay.
Like that's like my friends that I've been like close with, which is a lot.
Yeah.
And then most of my friends would also get +1s, and most of his friends would too. So like we look at numbers like it's gonna be like 200 plus people.
Yeah, for sure.
And I'm like, fuck, that's like a lot. And most places I'm looking at, and again, I feel like the areas that I'm looking at are obviously probably more expensive
Because it's right outside of the city.
Yeah, and so, and like they're like bigger, nicer venues, and I don't know anyone who's got married to like know what's normal and what's not. But like it's like between $220 to $320 per person.
So
And that's just for the venue.
just to be able to be at the venue.
Yeah.
That's weird. Why do they do it by person? Because it's like, how does that affect?
Because it also comes with like food and like a couple other.
Oh, the
things
food
in
is
it.
included.
Some places have it included, some places don't. So like it's like per head, and then you have additional fees on top of it. That doesn't include like my floral budget, which I know is gonna be fucking insane because the whole Twilight thing.
Yeah. That doesn't. If food was included, to me, that's like it's still obviously a lot.
But like,
Because
no, $250 times 200 people.
yeah, what is that? Hold on. Because okay, I mean, but if food, because I would assume food would be like one of the more expensive parts of it. So like that's still a lot of fucking money. But oh yeah, 50,000. But that to me, that's still bad. It's still
Like,
fucking
my thing
bad.
is like that's just for that one part. Then you have like alcohol on top
Yeah,
of it.
the
You have
alcohol's
like
a
your
lot.
cocktail hour. You have the actual reception itself. Then you have like the decorations that are not included, and then you have like your wedding planner or the coordinator for the day of. Plus you have like the dress, obviously.
Yeah.
The dresses that I'm getting. All of these different things, and there's just like so many little fees.
Oh,
Then you
yeah.
have like your service fee, then you have your administrative fee, and then you have like your tip, your gratuity, and like all these things. Like it's like
No, it's gonna be a
it's
lot.
gonna be upwards of like $100,000, which is a lot of fucking money for a singular day.
It is.
And I've gotten questions like saying like, who's paying for this wedding? Normally like traditionally, like the bride's family would pay for the wedding. My mom called me like when I was
Wait, really?
Yeah.
The bride's family?
And like the groom's family pays for like the rehearsal dinner or like the welcome party, whatever it is.
The cheaper part?
Yes.
That's fucking weird.
That's tradition. Well,
I would almost think it would be the opposite, if anything. I don't know. Anyway.
I don't know. But besides the point. So my mom's like, what are you thinking? So she can like plan. And I'm like, I don't want you paying for the wedding because like my mom's retired and like, well, she like works at a golf course because she like used to work in oil and she's like basically retired and like I make more than my parents do.
Yeah.
So I'm like, why would I have you pay for a wedding when like I'm in a better financial position than you are? I'm like, granted, you've been saving for these kinds of things, like not to that extent by any fucking means. I also told her I never wanted a wedding.
Yeah.
So it's like I don't want to. I just feel like because I'm in a good position, like why wouldn't I just pay for it myself?
Also, I feel like it's hard if somebody else is paying for it. Then you feel like, oh, maybe I shouldn't choose this
yeah.
option, and like you shouldn't bump it up. But if it's your own money, you're like, fuck it, I'll get these flowers or I'll get whatever.
Exactly, and I think it's tough. It's been tough for like me and like Kevin like talking through. Like it seems crazy to spend that for a singular day. And also, like, photographer, videographer, all these fucking fees, you know what I'm saying? But also, like, I don't know, I feel like that's become my truth.
Yeah, if you want to do it, it's like just full send and do it. It's but it is a lot of money.
But I don't want to have a wedding and not have people have a good time or not have like a good vibe.
No, you have
so
to go.
Like, if you're gonna do it, you might as well do it right. And I get like that's a privilege to be able to spend that and do that, but like that's where I'm at with it. And obviously, like because my content is becoming more wedding focused and like engagement and bride focused, however you want to put it, I get additional brand deals because it's surrounded by that. So that obviously helps you pay for the wedding. So I feel like less guilty about it, I guess.
I feel like you could get, well, I could see you, because I feel like alcohol is the most expensive part. One, I could see you like going to Costco and like buying like a bunch of the.
But that's the thing is a lot of the venues they have their rules like what you can and can't
That's
do.
That's annoying as fuck.
Which I think is stupid, but that's just like the way it is.
Maybe find a venue that will like you, because I feel like that would save you a lot of money, and I feel like you could also get some brands that would want to like give you.
I don't want my wedding like sponsored.
It doesn't have to be sponsored. I don't think like I feel like they would like.
But like I'm not gonna choose a venue based off where I can like bring my own alcohol.
Yeah,
like I'm gonna choose a venue that's like gonna be in my vibe for like getting married.
Yeah, that's weird that they won't let you. I know a lot of people that have like done that. Where I mean, I guess like I know people that got married in like Virginia, so it's probably different. But
I feel like it just also depends like where you go and like what the place is, and I don't know. I'm very picky of like what I can like. I can't do anything farmhouse like esque vibe, and I feel like a lot of those places that I found that would allow you to bring it were more of that decor look. That's just
so. Do they include alcohol too, and is that an additional price or
additional? Every place has different packages. They're all so different, so it just really depends on like what it is. I don't know. We're touring 2 places this weekend, and then a couple more next week.
Are you gonna be like dead fucking sober before walking down the aisle? Like, how does that work? Like, do you take like a shot maybe to like loosen up, or do you just
I feel like I'll be like
raw dog it?
I never really thought about it until like now, but I feel like when you see people getting ready, they're drinking like champagne in the morning and shit, you know. But I don't want to drink. I'm probably gonna have some tequila throughout the morning.
Yeah, like a little tequila sunrise.
Yeah, probably like low key, but I don't know. I think it's such a long day that
you got to pace yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like getting ready, going to Houston Hall, staying there.
Wedding venues like that popped up because you know how Houston Hall always does weddings. We never really try to go out like back when we were like we're still feral, but like different level of feral. Like we'd always try to go to Houston Hall, and they always have weddings in the summer, and we'd go there so excited.
A Saturday day would be closed.
Always closed. Yeah,
that'd be funny as fuck if you got married there. But
and I made a joke to him like, "What do you think about this place?" He goes, "There's actually 0 place I'd rather get married like less than that place."
Yeah, I don't want to shit on anybody who's gotten married there, but it's giving trashy.
No, they actually make it look gorgeous. They
probably do.
But like, it just like if you blacked out there and gone home with trashy men from that bar, you just simply can't get married there.
Yeah, no.
It's like too full circle. No. Anyways, so the planning part's a little bit tough.
Yeah.
But also, I can't have a wedding planner. It's not.
Why?
I just don't feel like I would find one that I fucked with enough to like where I can like you as a person, but also like tell you like to get your shit together. Like I don't know. I'm so.
I feel like there's one out there, but I get it.
But the effort of finding someone just doesn't seem fun. Like they come to me and like I vibe with them. That's different. Like going to find that person is just a lot. And like I feel like because my schedule's so flexible, I can do a lot on my own. Like most people like have like their regular job that's not flexible, so they can't do things themselves.
Yeah.
I'm like I think I can do more than the average person, and I'm just like I'm very anal, organized. I can't let go of things. But I did decide I'm going to get a day of coordinator so I can like chill.
What is a day of coordinator?
They just do like make sure that they have your basically wedding plan, and make sure that everything's in place, and like coordinate things throughout the day so you can like actually enjoy the day.
Okay, gotcha.
So yeah,
damn, that's crazy. So I'm glad you're going to New Jersey this weekend because, like, I won't be here, so I'm glad that I won't have FOMO because you'll be, like, out of town as well.
You're not going to have FOMO over golf and wedding venues? I'm kidding.
Not the golf.
You know what I'm also very excited for is I bought tickets for the movie on Friday. I've been dying to see Challengers with Zendaya at the tennis movie. And literally, on our cruise last year, me and Kevin saw the trailer for this and it was supposed to come out. But then, like, because of the whole writer's strike, it got delayed. And so I've been dying to see this movie for literally a year. Like literally a year I've been waiting to see this movie. And it has like such great reviews from all the critics and everything, and I bought tickets for Friday night at 8 p.m. So Very excited.
Fun.
Yeah, so I'm really looking forward to that.
That's exciting. So if you have recommendations of what I should do in Tampa / St. Pete, let me know. If there's any good like workout classes. Reed's coming with me, but he has to work during the day on Friday because he still works, but he'll be like working remote. So I'll just kind of be like bored during the day. So if you have any like fun places to shop, whatever, let me know. We probably have some Tampa listeners because we said we were gonna move.
Yeah, we definitely have a good amount for sure.
This is like gonna make me sound like an alcoholic because I'm like, I'm really proud of myself. But it's been like, it'll be like if I drink this weekend, which I don't know if I'm going to, I'm really gonna try to only drink like one day maybe. But like it'll basically have been like 2 weeks since I've had a sip of alcohol, which is really good for me because I just catch myself drinking like 3 days a week.
Sip.
What?
You've had a sip.
No, I haven't.
Yes, you
When?
have. Laura,
I didn't actually do that.
you had a sip.
No, I did not. I literally put my tongue in it. Anyway, I did not drink. I'm really trying to like limit how much I drink. Not like a insane amount. I'm not going sober, but I just feel like I drink so much, like 3 days a week, and it's just too much. Like, and it's not. I want to make this clear. I don't have an alcohol problem. I never have. I don't even like the taste of alcohol besides if it's an Aperol spritz. Like, I think a martini kind of tastes disgusting, but it's like I just do it for the social aspect of it. But if you told me tomorrow, like, you can never drink again, I'd be fine, except socially, I'd be like, what the fuck am I supposed to do? It's just like a hard adjustment. But we all went out last Wednesday with, like, we went with Izzy and Hallie and Carly, but then she left because she was, like, going on a date. And everyone was drinking. Everyone had a lot of drinks. Like, everyone was, like, hung over the next day, and I didn't drink. And it was the first time I've ever in my life probably, like, not been drinking when other people are, just because socially, if other people are getting a drink, I'm always like, oh, I'll get one too. It wasn't one. It was, like, 5. Maybe. No, it was a lot. Anyway, I was so proud of myself for not drinking. It was really hard, but I actually still had, like, a really good time. That was always my fear with not drinking when other people are drinking. I was like, oh, this is gonna fucking suck. I'm gonna be so bored. I'm gonna be, like, feeling weird. But I didn't at all. I had a great... The only thing I will say is, like, towards the end of the night when you're going out with people that are drinking a lot and you're not, like, towards the end of the night when everyone's, like, hammered and they're just, like, fading off the drunkenness, whatever, you do realize, like, you're talking and you're like, I don't think they're grasping what I'm saying because they're drunk and you're sober, so it is, like, a weird thing, but I still had a lot of fun regardless. So I'm going to try to do that a little bit more because I just, like, don't, like, I don't know. I even handle a hangover really well, but I don't know. Summer bucket lists. Do you have any?
I really want to be on a pickleball and tennis grind.
Okay.
I feel like we played a lot of pickleball last summer, but we got into towards the end of summer, I feel like, not the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
And same with, like, tennis. I got into, like, towards the end of the summer, so I'd like to, like, be really intentional about playing tennis, golf, just being sporty, I guess.
Okay.
What about you?
I plan on spending a lot of time not in the city this summer, so I really want to take horseback riding lessons.
Mm.
Yeah.
Horse girl.
Mm-hmm. Not
You
like...
almost bought a horse in Florida. That was the plan.
Yeah. I don't want to buy a horse because I can't
Yeah.
commit to that, but I would really like to just, like, I don't know, I really don't want to get thrown off a horse, so that does not sound exciting to me, but I do want to, like, ride, but I know eventually I feel like you're going to get thrown off at least once, and that does, like, really scare me. It gives me a lot of anxiety.
You know what you gotta do, though?
Get back up.
Get back on
Yeah.
that horse.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of what else. Drink less. Even though it's really hard during the summer because it's, like, the most fun thing to do. It's just, like, I love an Aperol Spritz in the summer, but really just drink, like...
You have an Aperol Spritz 365.
Yeah, but it's better in the summer, though. Like, it's so much better in the summer. But I'm going to try to drink, like, if I could just keep it to 1 day a week, that's good. It's just, like, I always get sucked into the social aspect of, like, every night. Like, you could drink every night, essentially, because there's always something to fucking do. But...
I feel like New York's just also different with that. Like, I feel like other places that I've lived in, it was never as big of a thing. But New York is just... That's the vibe.
It is, like, I mean, going out to eat and getting drinks are, like, the two main things to do, just because obviously, like...
I feel like it's also different here. because like no one drives here.
Yeah.
So like before, like other places, like you go to dinner, you're driving to dinner normally.
Yeah, that's
like
true.
Here, like you're not going to Uber on a Tuesday night to dinner and like see what you get into. You're just going to drive to dinner and then like go home and like you have a drink, whatever. But here, it's like there's no possibility of driving. So like I feel like people are more likely to have drinks at any occasion they go to.
Yeah, that's so true. Like you can just like do whatever you want because there's no like if you drive to a dinner you might be more hesitant like I have to drive home so like I'm gonna have one glass of wine or something.
Or it's like what am I gonna do with my car? There's like more thought that goes into it to where it's easier to be like no, it's just too much work.
Yeah.
Like here it's like it's really easy.
No, it's so easy. It's so bad. Oh my god. We didn't even talk about the limo.
Oh yeah, guys. If you are a long-time follower, you know I love a limo. I've always loved limo. It is my truth. It is who I am,
Yeah.
like at my core. If I ever see a limo in New York City, and the thing is, they're always just sitting outside random places because like they'll drive someone somewhere, or like they'll just be waiting for like people to like be drunk enough, like me, like I am their person.
Yeah.
Like, I am their target audience. That, like think limo is a good idea. So whenever I see them, I'm like, yes, please. And the worst thing, I'm trying to negotiate with these people every fucking time because like I am on my grind. Okay, I'm a negotiator. And everyone else in the background that's like drunk, I have a video from my vlog, is like, he's like 150, which honestly isn't even that bad.
Yeah, that's fine.
It's like an Uber Black, like to go like not even the distance we were going.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I have $85.
Which is just such a like random made up number.
And
Wait, also sorry, did you set a timer?
Yeah.
Okay.
how's it going? Yeah,
No.
2 minutes left.
Okay.
So I'm like, I have $85. He's like 150, and then everyone was like, I'll pay the difference. I'll pay the difference. Like no, we have $85. Like let me negotiate, because I like to feel like I'm winning, you know. But whatever, we ended up getting a 45-minute drive.
Yeah, he's like
150.
He's like 150 and she's like he's like not budging on her 85 and then she's like
Well, I think he would have budged had everyone else been like, I'll
Shut up.
split.
Yeah.
I'll split.
no, I know. But it was like for 30 minutes she goes, alright, make it 45, you have a deal.
I wanted to shake hands when I make this. That's professional. He blacked out and using professional it's the same sentence. It's
Yeah.
crazy, but it is.
Yeah, and then there was like a bottle of champagne that was just going everywhere.
The Rangers are in the playoffs. They're doing really good.
And then I watched the game last night.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're only 2 games in. Like, they've won both of them. Like, the Rangers are the best team in the NHL right now. Like, and let me just say, I don't need to know shit about hockey to have a good time of hockey. And no one does. Just want to put that out there. Like, I don't need to. I hate a bitch who's like, name 5 players.
Yeah.
Well, you know, I fucking could. Mr. fucking Sexy, Mr. Sexy number 2, Sexy number 3, 4, and fucking 5. Okay? Like, what?
But like hockey's just not a sport you need to know shit about to be able to watch
No
and enjoy.
sport is.
Like maybe baseball a little bit because it might be
No, because
slightly.
baseball is a drinking activity.
They all
It's
are.
not a sport.
They all are. But I mean, like maybe if you want to enjoy baseball, you kind of need to understand a little bit to like because it's
Yeah.
slow. It's slower paced, so it's boring as fuck if you don't actually understand what's going on.
At the same time, though, it's like you're just running around the bases, and like you catch it, you're out. Like
I mean, it's
an
a
easy
pretty.
concept.
It is pretty easy to grasp, but like I feel like the more you understand about baseball, the more. I mean, any sport essentially, but it's like hockey is like the easiest sport to watch. Where it's like I know nothing about hockey, but I still love the games because it's just like them fucking sliding around and like
There was
hitting
like
each
4
other.
fights last
Yeah,
night.
that's giving. Like baseball, that doesn't happen. It's so much slower.
You know, Mr. Sexy scored last night.
Oh, he did. Oh
Yeah.
yeah, I saw.
You guys didn't know. I never talked to this man. I have no idea who this man is. He would know, but his name is Keandre Miller. I mentioned him on this podcast an obscene amount of. Was that correct?
Yeah,
Is that word?
yeah. Obscene, absurd, obscene. I think it's fine.
You know, Bev speaks.
I was
Let
just
me
gonna
know.
say.
I'm trying to expand my vocabulary. So good for me. But anyways, I mentioned him quite a bit, and he scored last night, and I was like, I couldn't quite see someone stood up in front of me when it happened, and he was like with the puck within the switch, and I couldn't really see because the person stood up.
Mhm.
I was like, "Was that my man?" Kevin, he goes, "That was your man. Like your man just scored." It's like I love the respect, but he's still my man.
Yeah, that's
He never was my man, never will be, but like in my head,
yeah,
my man.
that's funny.
So that's great. Got some chicken nachos last night.
Mhm.
Per usual, they're fucking fantastic. Love it.
Actually, I have something to say on tipping culture.
Okay. Let's talk about tipping, because tipping is getting out of hand.
I think, like, if you provide a service, then you should get tipped. Like, to an extent. Like, if you're like a waiter, obviously, like, yeah,
Yeah.
20%, like, if you go to a restaurant, you know that's what you're signing up for. Like, if you go to a sit-down restaurant. But, like, going to, like, Chipotle, no. Like, that is, I'm sorry, like, no, you're not getting a tip at Chipotle. Like, that's the whole point. It's like a quick grab and go type of situation. And, like, bars, too. Like, obviously, a bartender, tip
Yeah.
20%. But I remember one time, like, I'll never forget this. I was in Miami. I went to this like stupid place, and it was not a bar. It was like you walked up, and for some reason, it was essentially like a cash register that somebody was manning, and they were just handing out like canned drinks.
Yeah.
So like I got like 2 White Claws, and then you would go like stand outside and whatever. And so I remember I walked up and I ordered like 2 White Claws. They give me a little thing. I don't tip because I'm like, she literally handed me a White Claw from the fridge, and it wasn't like a normal bar. Normally at a bar, I guess I'd throw like $1 on, maybe if they're even if they're handing me a White Claw, just cause I don't know, that's just how what you do. But like I didn't tip her, and I didn't think anything of it. And I remember I walked outside, and then I walked in to get another White Claw like 30 minutes later, and the lady, like the girl, it was a girl, she was like probably like in her 20s, started screaming. She's like, I'm not fucking serving you, like you're not allowed, like I'm not selling you another White Claw because you didn't tip. And I was so appalled. I was like, what? Like, because you handed me a White Claw? Like, that's so. And to say, like, I won't serve you, to maybe complain to me, whatever, I'd be like, okay. But to say I literally won't serve you because you didn't give me $1 extra for a White Claw was so weird to me. And I just think, like.
My thing is with that, with tipping, if you want to be upset, by all means, be upset to your coworkers, be upset to yourself. To vocalize, like, fuck you for not tipping, basically, is very odd to me. Even when you deserve the tip, I think that's very just inappropriate, like, to vocalize that. Like, I've heard that happen before. I'm like, you can't say that to people. Like, you can say that to anyone else but that person.
Like, at the end of the day, nobody has to tip you. Yeah, I think it's rude. Like, if you're ordering, like, 4 tequila sodas and you're not tipping, like, that, they're making it, that is weird to do that, because that's just, like, the culture. I don't know. But at the end of the day, they still don't have to, you know?
Yeah, it's like having any customer, like, anywhere, and like, oh, like, you're rude.
Yeah.
No, like, you said it to anyone else but the customer.
Do you ever tip based on, like, do you do percentage based on, like, how good the service was, or are you just, like...
Oh, if I have, like, fantastic service, I will give you an extra tip, and I will not only do that, I will make a Yelp review.
Okay.
Or, like, if I have, like, a survey or something, I'll fill it out. Like, if you, like, if I feel, like, very good about, like, my experience, like, I want you to, like, be rewarded for your work.
Okay. If it's bad, will you only give, like, 10%? Or will you is it?
I really won't go below 15. I think I would have, like, when I wasn't in the financial position I am in currently.
Yeah.
But, like, with where I'm at, but, like, that has to be, like, bad.
Yeah.
Like, a bad experience. And, like, I will also write a Yelp review for about that experience.
Yeah. I will tip, like, always 20. I feel, I don't know. But, I don't know, yeah.
It used to be really bad for me to do. Also, I'm bad at math. I normally over tip because I'm just like, I don't want to figure out the percentage. I just, like, make it.
I always round it. Like, I always round it up to, like, whatever, so I can just easily, like, do the math. I don't feel like sitting there. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yesterday I went to, this is kind of off topic, but not really. I went to get my hair done yesterday. And
I actually have a lot to talk about this subject in general. I don't know where you're going with this, but I have things to say about this.
okay. Well, I got my hair done yesterday, and when we were in LA, I was talking with Laura Tibby, and I didn't even know she had extensions. Well, I guess I kind of knew that she had extensions, but if you look at her hair, she doesn't look like she has extensions because they're so good. And I was like, your hair looks amazing. And she was like, oh my gosh, here, I'll recommend you my girl. So she gave me her girl. The girl's in Staten Island. And I was like, all right, whatever. I didn't conceptualize in my head. Like, I don't know, Staten Island. I'm like, oh, right across. Like, I'll just take the train and then get on the ferry. Like, that'll be so easy, whatever. I did not conceptualize it was, like, at the bottom of Staten Island, which I just, like, I don't know how I thought Staten Island worked. But basically, it was, like, a 2.5-hour train ride. So I was like, oh, fuck. So I was like, I'm not going to do a 2.5-hour train ride. Like, I just know I'd fuck up. You had to transfer, like, a bunch of times. It was just not, it wasn't in the cards for me. So I was like, I'll just Uber, whatever. The Uber each way, which is literally my fault for being dumb. And next week, I'm like, I'm sorry, you have to drive me or something. $168 each way. My hair cost for her to do a full head of highlights, $200. I paid $100 more in Ubers in Ubers. Then it wasn't even for my hair. I'm like, granted though, $200 for a full head of highlights. I don't know if you know anything about being a fake blonde. You clearly don't. But that's fucking cheap. Like most places have, like if you go in the city, it's like $600. Like it still was like basically the
It was
equivalent.
worth it.
It was, but like I can't do like it just killed me
I
to do
thought
like
you were getting extensions.
next week. So I have to go back next week. Because they have to color match you. So I'm getting like K-tip, like really tiny, like the beat extensions or whatever. And but my hair also needed to be dyed, and so she needed to color match me and like dye my hair so we could like figure that all out. So I went to do that like yesterday, and then next week I'm getting my hair like put in, and I'm really excited like to just have long hair and whatever. But it was cash only. Also, the girl is so cute and amazing, and I just love her so much. Her name is Jenna, and I love her. But she, like, it was cash only, and so I had no money. Sorry, I knew it was cash only. She had told me I have no way to pull cash out. Like, I don't know why. None of my cards work. I need to get on that and fix that, but I cannot pull cash out. So I made Reed like the night before. I was like, let's go to the ATM. I made him pull out like $400, and I was like, that should be good because she had quoted me over the phone like, oh, it'll be around 200. So I was like, if I get out 400, I'll be fine. So I got 400. But then when I like was paying, she's like, oh, for next week you need to leave a $400 cash deposit for the extensions. And so then I was like, oh fuck, I owe her another $200 and I have to like tip her too. So I was like, oh my god, I don't have cash. So I was like, do you have an ATM? And I was just like panicking, like I need to just figure this out. I owe the podcast $250
I knew that's what I was thinking.
because I don't have any way to get out cash, and I seriously was panicking. I was like, I'm not gonna be able to whatever. But then I realized I had the podcast card. I was like, oh, thank God, I can pull the cash out. Like,
What was something funny?
what?
When I was in Arizona, I didn't have my debit card. I didn't bring it with me, and I was at the casino. I was like, I want because I was waiting to pick up my from the airport. I had 2 hours to spare, and
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I don't have any my debit card with me. He's like, but I do have the podcast card.
You used the podcast money to kill.
Pull out cash. I reimbursed it.
Okay. No, I'm gonna reimburse it, obviously, but I was just like, oh fuck. Like and I was like, thank God I have this podcast card, but I was like literally like, I don't know how much money it's this bank account.
I
Like
don't do debit cards ever. Like, the
No.
only debit card I have is a podcast card because I use my Amex and I just pay off that card.
mine won't even I have like this weird bank whatever that won't even let me my debit card that I have from this bank won't let me pull out cash. I have another bank account also that will let me pull out cash, but I like don't have the card. I don't know what the fuck it is. So it's just like a giant disaster. But what was I gonna say? Oh, tipping. This is where I always get like hair. I always tip 20%. I feel like that's just normal.
Here's my thing with that. If you're at a salon with other people, like you don't own the whole thing, yes. If you make your own prices, I struggle with that. 'Cause, like,
Oh, yeah.
you set your price of like what it should be, and you should know what that is. Also, like places that I go for hair, like maybe charging at the fucking ass, like just because they can.
Yeah.
Like so, like they're all their own individual people. So I'm like, this is crazy. Like this is actually crazy to tip on top of this. Like for example, please don't fucking come for me. I don't even want to say this in the podcast. My braids that I get.
Yeah, I was gonna say she came to you, right?
Yeah.
So she makes her
But,
own
like,
prices.
Yes. Let me just say, my braids, like with the hair, I don't know if I want to say this in the podcast.
Just say it.
$800.
Okay.
People can get these braids so much less.
Okay.
So much less. Like this is experience that I chose. That was my choice for that time period. So I'm like, you're setting these outlandish prices, by the way, and like you're setting them like you don't pay anyone else. Like, this is like you pick them.
Yeah.
If you pick them, I don't think I should have to tip you.
Yeah, I get that.
Because like, you're the sole owner, you know what your overhead is, you're picking your costs. I'm like, and like picking on top of that, like that seems crazy to me. Because I'm like, I can get these braids done for $200.
Yeah, that and it's also I struggle with when a service is so expensive like that. When you're already paying $800 to then do 20% of $800, you're like, that's just like
Yeah.
I don't know. And you're like, is that like worthy? I don't even know.
So I'm not saying I don't do it. I'm just saying I have a much harder time justifying it. So I'm like, you're already doing all this shit.
Well, because I don't know. Because I'm like, okay, when I get my extensions, like, you know, it's like $1,000 or something, like maybe more. Extensions are fucking expensive, but that also includes buying the hair. I want to make that clear. But I'm like, do I tip 20% for the extensions? Like that seems. I don't know. I really don't. I would assume.
Yeah. The thing is, I feel like
because also some of that price is the hair. So I'm like, I don't give you 20%
Oh my, the hair.
on the hair purchase
Yeah.
too, you know?
So I would just like find like a round number and like put it within it. But like, I also try to. I think when you think about like average cost for things, if someone's like under what the average cost is, I'll take it on 100%.
Mhm.
If you're significantly over the average cost and you make your own prices, you're the sole owner and the sole person in this business, I'm gonna struggle with that.
Yeah.
And I'm a good tipper. I don't want to make. I'm not cute. I want to explain myself.
No, she is.
I'm a great tipper. I'm very good about that.
Yeah.
Like I leave money in the hotels, but I leave like I'm good about tipping. I really am.
Yeah.
Just like it's being
Yeah. I have gotten much more, like, I feel like when I was like more broke, I was like, I still would tip and stuff, but it was so much harder for me to tip. Now I like feel good about tipping because I'm like, oh, I want to like give somebody like some extra money for the service they provided me.
Yeah.
Like I feel I've switched my mindset where before I was like, oh my god, it's so expensive, like whatever. And now that I've matured, I like tipping because I'm like, oh, like, and I like to give people.
Obviously, I also think it depends on like your financial position.
Yeah.
Like the more money you make, the more like, oh, it feels good to be able to reward someone that I'm in the position that I'm able to.
For sure.
Um,
Also, switching topics, but the podcast clips always send me when it, like we were not getting canceled, but it was like hate.
I posted
The Pinterest one.
Sorry, I posted a clip of, if you didn't see it, of the tattoo conversation from last week, but not the whole conversation, just the part of saying like Pinterest should remove the word tattoo from the platform, basically. And people, I obviously throw some hashtags out there, tattoo, TikTok.
Yeah, not on that side.
It fully got on that side, and there's like 50 comments, of people just like arguing. Like,
Well, it's like annoying because people will take that out of context and be like, oh, they're shitting on anybody with tattoos, and it's like, that's not
like
true.
In the comments, do you have any tattoos? Why are you even judging others? She got to stay in her lane. People shouldn't. It shouldn't be so easy to get microphones. People's body, their choices. This is so stupid. I guess my phone's handed to anyone these days. Like, okay. Obviously, the point of a podcast clip is to bait someone to watch the fucking episode.
Yeah.
And like, the competition is so clear. We're talking about fucking elephant tattoo that I hate because it was on fucking Pinterest.
Yeah, but people don't know that, so they just see that and
Yeah.
they're like, oh, fuck you. But we were obviously talking about our own tattoos and our own poor choices, not like making fun of other people. But it's like,
just like funny how that happens.
yeah. I used to genuinely shit like that used to like bother me. I'd be like, oh my god,
Like normally I would have just deleted it.
yeah, but now I don't give a fuck. I'm like, okay, like it's like so when you realize that, like, because I think before when I would get hate on videos, right, and it for something that people are taking out of context, that's not what I meant, I would panic and I'd be like, everyone hates me. It's like the people that follow you, like literally probably don't even give a fuck about that. It's these random people that are on TikTok that are seeing this like 2-second clip of you and like making a judgment or a comment, and you realize like, oh, it doesn't fucking matter. Like I don't know, but I used to panic so hard about stuff like that.
No, I fully agree. I've gotten much better with like removing like my mind from spiraling in that direction.
Yeah.
Because like people that like actually like genuinely like ride me, like follow me, like that like watch every channel or whatever, like they know who I am.
Yeah.
And like this one-off little thing isn't going to be like the make or break for them.
Yeah.
So also I appreciate people send like comments like last week. You don't need to over-explain yourself. Like we like you guys, and like it's not a big deal, because like that really is like very affirming and validating when you go with people like being fucking rude to you in your DMs or comments or whatever it is.
Yeah.
So shout out to whoever wrote that comment last week. I really appreciate it.
Well, I saw a lot of questions on there, which I'll talk about for a second, about people. I get a lot of DMs too of people being like, obviously, like, how did you forgive Reed? Like, should I get back with my ex? I get DMs every day of girls being like, should I get back with my ex? Like, da 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 da. And I think there's such a stigma around this. Like, it's like a joke. And I don't even know. It's like a whole thing. And like, people are like, you're embarrassing, you're stupid for getting back with your ex. And I think to an extent, like, that can be true. And sometimes there's not. Like, I've talked to so many people, obviously, about their relationship or whatever. So many people I've talked to that are like, oh, I've been dating my boyfriend for 5 years. Then I'll like get into a conversation with them about it. I'm like, yeah, me and my ex broke up. Like, oh my god, like, yeah, my boyfriend broke up with me like 2 years in, but like we're back. Like we were broken up for a month. We're back together, and like we've been together for 3 years after. And it's just like, I don't even know. I think if it can be a good thing to go back to an ex, but also it cannot. It's so situational. It's like, if that relationship is not serving you and in any way it's toxic, but it's easy to go back and it's comfortable and you like feel safe even though you know it's not what's best for you, then like no, you shouldn't get back with your ex. But if, you know, like for me, it was, I had no reason, like when the relationship ended, I didn't want it to end, and I felt like the relationship really was serving me, and I felt really great in it. So then it was shocking when we broke up. Obviously, I've said that like a million fucking times, and I didn't understand why it happened. And so then, if he can grow, mature, figure out his life and what he wants, and come back and be like, "You're still what I want," why would I not give that another shot and see where it goes? And you know, whatever, if it was a positive thing for me.
Yeah, I think it's just like there's no blanket statement you can put on it. Like, every situation is different.
Yeah.
It's like trust your gut.
Yeah. I also think like how, like, I don't even know. It's easy to forgive when you love somebody, but like sometimes you don't want to be too forgiving because you don't want to just excuse a lot of really fucked up things. But at the end of the day, if you can, like, everything with a relationship is, in any relationship, you're putting blind trust in somebody, essentially. In a friendship, you're trusting that that person's not going to stab you in the back, and that things you tell them, they're not going to go tell everybody, da da da. Same thing in a relationship, like romantically. It's like you just have to blindly trust the person and hope that they're not going to fuck you over. And I don't know where I'm going with that.
I think also too, like that goes back to like people's behavior, and if people like show like whether the behavior is one way at one time and it switches to another, like you can you choose to trust and believe like they've shown me who they are and how they're going to be, and like that's what builds your trust is how they're acting.
Yeah.
Not acting, like their intention and how they're being and all those different things, and like that's how you know who that person is and how they're going to show up, and like how the relationship's going to be, and like what you can trust with them, and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
Not just like in a romantic sense, but like even in a friendship, like when people show up for you in certain ways, like you have trust that will do that again for you in the future.
Yeah, for
so
sure.
If people are being a way towards you currently, you're gonna trust they'll continue to be that way until you're proven otherwise.
Yeah. And we didn't just like get back. It wasn't like, oh, we're back together immediately or anything. It took like a month and a half for us to be like, okay, we're dating again. Like before, I guess it was like I wasn't saying anybody else, neither was he, but it was like open to that, I guess, where it's like if you want to, you can. And like I don't know, I forgave like kind of day of, but it took a while to build the trust back and be like, okay, is he, because I kind of, you know, in the back of my head have fucking trust issues, obviously. I'm like, oh, like he'll probably give this up at some point, and like if that'll be that. But like he's proven to me over the going on 5 months that we've been back together. Yeah, 5 months that we've been back together, that like I do feel confident in him and, you know, where we're at right now. So yeah.
That's like I think it's really is like you really don't know things unless you're in them.
Yeah, and you got to decide what's best for you. Like, don't let anybody else, because like probably most people, I was like, oh, I'm going to like talk to him, whatever he wants to talk to me. It would probably be like, you are so fucking stupid. Don't do that. But it's like for me, I just had to trust my gut and like see things through, and I'm glad I did, because if I had just been like blocked, whatever, who knows where I'd be right now.
I'm sorry, I'm reading these questions. Someone asked about life as an only child and thoughts on having just one kid, since being an only child.
Mm-hmm.
Know.
Yeah.
Do not have one child. I've said this like forever ago on the podcast, but like I wish so much I had someone who related to my experiences and could validate my stuff. And I hate that I am an only child. It's really just I can't stand it. And I love like when I see like a bond of people, like for example, my cousins, like I only have 3 cousins, but like 2 of my cousins are like brother and sister, and like they all their shit they get like with each other, like, and I'm like, that is so great how someone can validate and relate and like say your trauma or like whatever it is, and just be like, you just like get it and you don't have to explain because like you also lived it. And I just like I hate that, like I have no one to like not even like bounce ideas off of or like understand like what it was. Like I'd like just figure it out now, and don't like that. And I think whether like things are good or whether things are bad, having someone to like affirm positive things or like the opposite end of things is just like unmatched. So I am against having only one kid.
I agree. Like, I think obviously, like, it's probably a little more fun to have a sibling. But at the same time, I think as a parent, if you're not that I'm a parent or
Yeah.
like whatever, but if you're not in a financial position to have two kids where you can wholeheartedly provide for both of those children and you're going to have to like, make a bunch of sacrifices, it's like to a kid, like if that makes sense. I think if you can like provide really great for one child, but two would kind of split that, you know what I'm saying? Where if you can like feel really confident, like, okay, I can pay for my kid's college. I can, like whatever. And then you have two or three and they're like, well, now I have to split all this. So like whatever. I'm not saying that like your parent has to pay for your college, but I think making that decision, if you want to have your kids set up for like, okay, I want their college to be paid for. I want to feel confident in this. But having two kids, you don't. I don't understand why you would just have one.
Yeah, I don't know. I hate the one child thing.
Yeah.
It's complete ass.
Like I think it's, I don't want to like get, this is going to be controversial, but like I do, like obviously this is not the same thing, but when people have like 12 kids and like, or like 8 or like 6 or however much. No, I understand. I'm taking this to a different level, obviously, but it's like, I do think it's fucked up. I think it's like fucked up to the kids also when you have so many kids and you can't really you can't give a good amount of attention and parenting to like 8+ kids, I don't know.
Absolutely not.
I think that's crazy.
Emotionally too, it's like you just don't have enough to go around.
And I think it's like kind of fucked up because then you're giving the kids not like the best childhood. I don't know. Some people from like huge families might say otherwise, but to me, it's like I personally don't have the emotional capability to like be a great mother to 8 children or more, or even 4 would be like pushing it for me. Like, good Lord.
I think also too, like when you get to like higher numbers, the older kids end up becoming parents to the younger ones, and like that becomes their childhood, is like being a parent. But I mean, it really just depends. Like, and it goes back to like there's not a blanket statement. Like, there are people it works out great for, people that like other reasons there's a problem with it. Like, every experience is different. Yeah. But I
do think 2 is probably best. Like, I think if I were to have kids, I would probably have 2. But
yeah, I don't know. That's just like I don't enjoy being an only child. It's simply not for me. But it obviously is my truth.
Yeah.
And if I were to have children, I would not just have one.
Yeah.
So that's just me. That question. That's my opinion. Someone said I'd make new friends, moving to a new city. We've talked about this a lot, like probably for the older episodes. And they said not friends that are just for going out. And I feel like that goes to like almost like lifestyle dating with her friendships.
Yeah.
Like you do things you'd want to do with friends by yourself. Like go to a Pilates class, go to a paint and sip without the sip, I guess. I don't know. Like do things that you want to do with friends by yourself.
I feel like I think Instagram DMs can be great. Like it's, and just making the effort, because probably there are a lot of people that would want to be your friend too. Like even if you just meet somebody really casually, like one time, I think taking that like step to be like, like initiative. DMing them or initiative. I think that can be the big thing, because I think that's the big hump that a lot of people can't get over. So somebody might be like, I fuck with that girl, I like her, I would be her friend, but I don't want to make that effort. Like it feels weird to me, whatever. So if you do that, a lot of times I think that can be reciprocated. But I also think, obviously, you don't want to be friends with somebody that doesn't want to be friends with you. So I also think respecting people's boundaries and understanding. Yeah. Some people might not have the capacity to make another friend. Some people might not be able to be a good friend. So
that right there, no capacity for new people. And I'm being so for real. Like, and that gives me so much anxiety. Because I feel like, and for like, if we get DMs, people like, I need new friends. And like, even like, when I first moved here, I'm like, I just don't have, I'm not saying I'm a bitch because I don't want to hang out with you because I don't think you vibe. None of that. I don't have capacity to be a friend to another person at the moment.
If someone like that's kind of me, where I'm sorry, like I don't have the capacity to do that, where I'm gonna go out of my way to like essentially date a friend and like create that friendship. But if somebody organically comes into my life where it's like they're like my mutual friends, and then I just start hanging out with them, and then they just become somebody I really fuck with, that's how I'll make new friends now. But I'm not, again, like, I'm not moved to a new city. I've been here for 6 years. I have a very established group of like friends. I always have somebody I can text to go to dinner with, whatever. So for me, it's hard to like, I don't have the ability to be able to like, because like I already have so many plans with my friends. At some point, when you're creating so many friends, then you're almost being a shitty friend to the friends that you have, because
you're overextending yourself.
if you can't even hang out with your like close friends because you're constantly making new friends, which it's not to say don't make new friends, you know, it's just like a balance. But I think definitely if you are trying to make new friends and somebody is not really reciprocating that, where you're like, oh, maybe sometime that would be fun, whatever, and you get one of those, and then maybe you follow up once and they're still pushing you off / being weird if they're not trying to make a definite plan. I think respecting that and being like, all right, I tried, and I've been there. I've been shot down where I've like, I've tried and I've been like, oh, hey girl, like let's get dinner, and like you get a like, oh yeah, my schedule's really busy, maybe next week, and then they don't hit you up next week. You follow up, they're like, yeah.
It happens to all of us.
So there's no shame.
It's also, it's not personal.
Yeah.
Like, it's people like that. I've been on the other side of that also, where I'm like, I don't have it in me right now.
Yeah.
I really don't. And I just can't. But
it is crazy though, like when, and it's like maybe I just should be more sharp. This doesn't happen often by any means, but when somebody's like, let's hang out, and you're just like pushing them off, like you're being the one that's like, hey, whatever, and they keep trying, and I feel so bad, but it's like, what do you want to say? Like, hey, I'm so sorry, I just don't have the capacity. You know, that's a hard thing to say to somebody.
It's almost like with like when you're like talking to a guy, like when like they don't hit you back, you know it's not happening.
Exactly.
It's literally like dating for friends.
It is.
You have to know like when like it's not like, for lack of a better word, embarrassing to keep reaching out. Like you like for lack of a better word, I'm not saying it's embarrassing, but you have to know no one like it's not in the cards.
Yeah, for sure. Because it's like if you've hit somebody up 8 times and they've pushed you off every time, they're not busy all those 8 times. Like or maybe they are and they genuinely don't have the capacity to be your friend. You know what I'm saying?
And I think it goes back to, it's not personal. It's just like it's not the right fit.
Yeah.
Like there's been people I've dated and it wasn't personal, but you know what? I just wasn't for them.
Yeah.
I just don't think us is for me.
I don't think us is for me.
And you know what? I found what was for me.
Yeah.
Like it's not that deep. I just think it's tough because I like also I'm just addressing this as a whole because we're on the topic. We get DMs all the time. I just feel like we'd vibe. Like I think I would vibe with you. I'm not denying that we would vibe. I just don't want new friends right now. I don't have it. And I will end up being a shitty friend or shitty in other aspects of my life because I don't have room to get to know a person and grow a friendship. And again, that goes back to if it happens organically, where like you end up in our thing with our people and we end up meeting and like it naturally happens. You're already in my schedule.
Yeah.
Amazing. I actually love when that happens.
Same.
But I don't have time to date friends at the moment.
It's for me, like I feel like as I've gotten older, like when I was like 18, it was like every night, like I'd be like so busy during the day and every night I'd want to hang out with somebody because my social battery was so high that it's like, as I've gotten a little bit older, my social battery is not as high. So it's like, if I'm doing shit all day, where like today I have a really busy day, whatever. It's like, all I want to do at the end of the day is go home and like lay on my fucking couch and like not talk to anybody. And if my day was all busy and then with like social, especially because of what we do, it's very much like you're like in meetings. I mean, other people, I'm sure, I'm not just making this exclusive to influencers. I'm sure there's a lot of jobs where you have to be talking to people 24/7, but it's like for us, we're in front of a camera, like, woo, yeah, talking all day in meetings. When I go home, I can't keep doing that.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
I like when I have a day of like us going to events and we're seeing all these people that we're friends with but haven't seen like since the last event all day long. The last thing I want to do is go socialize with someone new and get to know them on a deeper level.
Yeah, no, yeah.
That is my actual worst nightmare.
Yeah, like even in a romantic setting, like going 100%. On a date, it's just like
I would never do that.
No, because your social battery is like dead, and then it's like you can't provide, like you can't even be like fun for somebody because you're like, oh my god, I'm drained from.
And you don't want to end up like being fake because you're trying to like give someone something like you just don't have.
A version of yourself. Yeah, for sure. So it's hard, and I think like everybody's at different places. So if you're trying to make a new friend, definitely be aware of that because that's no fun. Like, you don't want to be friends with somebody that doesn't want to be friends with you.
Yeah, but also, like, you just have to put yourself out there. That's all it is.
But yeah, and that's it. That's what I'm trying to get at with all this. I think don't be afraid of getting shot down, because I think it can be really discouraging if you do, like, let's say you try to make an effort with somebody and they're like, oh, okay, pushing you off. And then you're like, oh my God, I feel like an idiot. And then you don't try to make new friends. That's no. Like, okay, this person doesn't have my time for me, whatever. Move on to the next. Keep going. It's like dating. It really is.
It's part of it.
Yeah.
It's what comes with it. And like with dating, you will find what's meant for you and what's not meant for you, whether it's romantically or friendship.
Yes. Oh, this is kind of on the same topic, but nothing bothers me more though than the people that are like, protected my peace so hard that I have, like, that my only friend is my boyfriend. Maybe you're the problem, one. Or two, like, you're not making friends with the right people, because I hate, it's so, like, weird to women when girls do that, because it's like, you're really tough. I've met a lot of fake bitches. I've been friends with a lot of fake bitches. I've ended a lot of friendships with a lot of fake bitches. Like, it happens. It's a part of life. But if you're telling me really you can't find one or two or three girls out there that are good friends and real, you are literally the problem.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
No,
Like, I've been fucked over a lot, but, like, then you move on and you find different friends. Like,
yeah,
I don't know.
I think it's also so weird to me, too, because, like, sometimes I'll see posts like that where it's like, they were all fake and terrible. Or it's other one who's like, no one treats me as good as him, so I just left them. Like, okay, yes, I'm sorry. He should treat you the best out of all people in your life, and I full-heartedly believe that. But your friends aren't meant to be willing to do anything for you like a romantic partner is.
Yeah.
And so, like, your friends should be, like, good friends, but they shouldn't be, like, the be-all, end-all, do everything off the hat like a romantic partner will be willing to do for you.
Yeah.
So, like, maybe, like, understand what those expectations and roles are, because in that sense, I see people saying that, and I'm like, yeah, that should be the very best, but, like, you have other friends. It's like, it goes back to, like, having friends that are meant for different things.
Yeah.
Like, you have your friends in different categories. Like, your friends shouldn't be like, well, I need you fucking kidney tomorrow. Well, like, maybe some of them should. You know what I'm saying?
No, I agree. It's like, obviously, like, there's things that I would ask of Reed that I wouldn't even ask of you, and you're, like, my best friend, just because it's like, if you come over to my house, I'm not like, go take out my garbage. If Reed comes over, I'm like, can you take out my garbage? Like, you know, even just little shit like that. I don't know. Yeah, your boyfriend should be the person to go above and beyond, because it's a different level of commitment. I don't know.
Yeah, no, that's exactly what it is.
But that doesn't mean you don't go have friends. And also, like, people that don't ever hang out with their friends, it's like, or, like, they only hang out with their boyfriend, it's like, at some point, which I hate when people are like, I see TikToks of people being like, we've been together 4 years, like, this is what dinner looks like, and it's like them not talking or whatever, which I do think is weird, because you should still be able to have a conversation no matter, like, I see you basically every day, and I can have a conversation with you. Same thing, like, Reed and I can always find something to talk about, but at the same time, if you are literally spending every moment of every day with the person, it's like, you would run out of some things to talk about to some extent, because if you're not doing anything different in your life, how do you have anything, like, it's like, I'll go have a day separate from Reed, and then we'll come together at dinner, and I'm like, oh, this is what I did today, this person did this person messaged me this, I said da-da-da-da-da. If you're, like, not doing, I don't know, it's so weird. And it's like, don't you want to go, like, I like to go hang out with my friends, because I don't know, it gives you something different to talk about. And then you can get all the tea for your partner, and then you go fill them in, like, oh my God, this girl's dating life is crazy, listen to what happened to her. Like,
it's also just, like, there's a time and a place for things. Like, for example, like, we went out to dinner with the girls on Wednesday.
Yeah.
Would we bring a romantic partner with the girls for dinner? That's girls' night? No. And I don't have friends like this now, but I used to have friends like this. You literally have a plan for girls' night dinner, and they'd show up with, like, fucking Brian.
That's so weird.
Why the fuck is Brian here? Or then text last minute, hey, can Brian come? And, like, then everyone feels awkward and doesn't, like, want to say no. Now I've grown, and I will fucking say no. But it's like, there's a time and a place. And, like, not to say you can't bring around your boyfriend around your friends. Like, obviously, like, I do that, you do that. Like, it's not a big deal. Because, like, also, like, our boyfriends are friends with our friends.
Yeah.
But, like, there's a time and place.
Well, I think most of the time, if it's like, we're going out to the bar, I'm like, okay, I'm going to bring him, because, like, I would feel, like, if it's a dinner, absolutely not. Would never. But if it's like, we're going to the bar, one, I will, because it's like, I can still chat with my girls and whatever, and, like, he can go fuck off and do whatever. It's not like we have to be together at the bar. Also, sometimes it's like, if you're with your girls, right, and then your girls are like, find other single guys, and then you're just standing there, you're like, well, I can't go find a single guy because I'm like, whatever, and you're just standing there like, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's time and place.
Also, a lot of the time when we go to the bars, and I'm like, at least like one of our regular guy friends that we're not romantically involved with is also there. So like, and he's friends with our significant others, so it's like not weird in that sense because like our guy friend is friends with our girls that we're friends with and friends with our significant others.
Yeah, so everybody can just chat and vibe, and I like going out with a mix of girls and guys. Like, I mean, sometimes it's fun to just have a girls' night, absolutely, like, and I'll do that. But it's also fun to just go out with your guy friends too, and whatever. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I think the bar is a lot more whatever, but I agree. Like, I've had friends like that where you're like, oh, do you want to get coffee? And then you think it's just like a friend date. And like, well, yeah, like Brian's coming. You're like, oh,
yeah,
okay.
Totally.
Like, I don't want to share the intimate details of my sex life with Brian. Like,
yeah. I mean, I probably will, but
yeah, no, I guess
if I want to talk about it, Brian's there. Like, you brought him, like, deal with it.
Yeah, no, exactly.
Someone said to expose our messages to each other. We don't text.
Yeah, it's
like,
99% FaceTime.
And like, if there's something I didn't want in messages, like, I'm gonna FaceTime.
Yeah.
Also. Like,
I have trust issues for no reason over that. Where it's like I've never really had anybody like screenshot. Like, I've never had a situation where I've texted a friend something and they've screenshotted a message. But I don't know why I have trust issues, even though I know you would never do that. It's just like, if I'm gonna say something fucked up or mean,
it's not even that. It's like if someone hacked my iPod.
Yeah.
God forbid.
I also always panic. Like, if I'm sending me a message, I will stare at it for actually like 30 minutes before sending it, because I'm like, I'm sending it to the wrong person. This is somehow a group chat. Like, I'm not seeing this, even though it's literally just like, it says Jazz, and I know I'm just sending it to you. I'm panicking, then I'm sending it to the person.
It's like it's like more of like a heat of the moment thing. Where if there's ever like something I wouldn't want in text, I'm like fired up and I want to talk about it.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna just like FaceTime, like get what's off my chest, because like it's just an in the moment thing.
Yeah, because also it's usually like, oh, this person just pissed me off. Let me call you and explain to you. I'm not going to sit there and type you a paragraph.
It's just like, I'm just venting about like whatever it is.
Yeah.
But we just also really don't text. We're just big FaceTimers.
Yeah.
But thanks for listening, guys. If you guys didn't know, we're doing a giveaway on the podcast Instagram, picking 6 of you to send some packages to. It ends, I believe, like when this episode comes out, the end of the day on Thursday. So if you haven't entered, it's on our Instagram. Follow us on TikTok and Instagram, Delusional Diaries Podcast, and subscribe to our YouTube, Delusional Diaries Podcast. Leave a rating and review on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. And thanks for being here. We'll see you next week.
Bye.